It's another Saturday. We're going to take a look at some of the hottest sports cards on eBay in the PSA eBay store, but we've got to highlight, we've got to showcase a really special auction that they've got going on now. Currently at about $4,000 and change. It is the Prism Green Pulsar Victor Wembanyama, number 25 out of 25. A PSA 9 a couple months ago sold for I think $6,800, $6,900. And this one is sitting at about $4,000 and change with a few days left. So make sure that you check out this card. All the Victor Wembanyama fans looking for cards like this out there. What will it sell for? Again, we had the PSA 9 that sold for $6,800, $6,900, and this is a PSA 10. We got to watch this one. Guys, if you are not aware, when you grade cards with PSA, sure, you can send them all home if you want to, but you can also send some of them to the PSA Vault. I actually just did this with one of my submissions. I've got a PSA reveal that I'm going to share here, a grading reveal here in the next week or so, but I'm still waiting on one more. So I've got two submissions there. One of the grades have popped on one, waiting for the other. I've got 3 cards coming home, 3 going to the Vault, and I am going to sell them on eBay. I think I'm just going to run them at a 7-day auction. But I might do buy it now, OBO. You've got all the same options that you would normally. Posting on eBay is seamless. So easy. Don't have to ship back and forth. Really easy. If you're a first-time submitter over at PSA, take $25 off that first submission with the SCD25 code at the shipping and billing screen. All right, let's turn the camera around and look at some cool cards. It's happening, guys. Welcome back. We've got the weekly episode partner with PSA. We're going to take a look at the PSA eBay store. The first card is going to surprise you a little bit because it's one that we don't typically cover, hockey cards, but this one popped up here. At time of recording, we got one bid at $500 for the wicked 1998 Upper Deck SP Sign of the Times Wayne Gretzky in a PSA 9. And I just had to notice on this one, this is a really nice on-card auto. I don't really think this looks streaky at all. I mean, it looks really good to me. I was looking at comps on eBay, and a BGS 9.5 sold fairly recently for about $900, $950 on eBay. So could this be a bargain for somebody in the PSA 9? This is not a card that I was really aware of. I'm not a hockey card guy, but I was like, man, the great one sitting here, great picture. It's Sign of the Times, which has a classic feel to it, just with baseball and football. The Sign of the Times, even Dale Earnhardt Sr. has great Sign of the Times Upper Deck, late 90s Upper Deck autos. So there's a lot of history there with Sign of the Times. And I just thought, man, this is a really cool card. I've been wanting to get a Wayne Gretzky auto for a long time. And this might be one that I target at some point because it does look like they are fairly available, not mega scarce. And also don't necessarily really break the bank considering it's the legend. It is the great one. All right, next up for all you vintage baseball card guys, 1953 Topps, Jackie Robinson. I pulled a couple of Jackie Robinson cards from this week's auctions. This one typically in a 1.5 can go anywhere from $700, $800 was a recent sale. So again, this one, time of recording about $200. There's 5 days left. It's Tuesday night when it ends. And I've noticed too, and we know this with vintage, a 1 or a 1.5 can look absolutely destroyed depending on the card. This one does have a nice little crease kind of right down the hat, front of his face. And it's some little mini creases here, but I mean, actually looks like a pretty good card. I don't mind kind of the rounded corners. Means it's not trimmed. Yeah, it's a little bit frayed and everything, but I mean, if you just want to own a copy of the card, the 1953 Topps set in general is just kind of one of those legendary card sets, especially for baseball card collectors. Jackie Robinson, I believe he only has 9 cards, individual cards, different cards from his playing days, years. So just classic 1953 Topps set. And hell, if it ended today at $200, it would be one heck of a deal. Hey, why not pull the next year's card as well? 1954 Topps Jackie. This is another really popular card for him. It's a great portrait, and then, of course, him throwing. This one's in a 1, and this one is sitting right at about what these normally sell for in that $250 range in a 1. And this one, though, I think if I'm looking at it, there must be, some massive issue with it that I'm not seeing really. There must be a huge crease on it. Maybe there's a pinhole. This card looks really good. So I don't know exactly what happened, but there's definitely, obviously it's a 1. So there's a pretty big issue with it. It's probably, a pretty sizable crease. But again, with a lot of these types of cards, it's all about eye appeal. And this is a pretty sweet one. And I think that's the reason why These typically go beat up, really beat up copies of a 1 will go for about this price, $250. There's 6 days left, so this is going to end on Wednesday night next week. This is just a really nice copy. So interested to see kind of, again, I think there's a little, maybe a stain right here. I mean, there's something, there's definitely a crease somewhere that I'm just not seeing, but man, talk about amazing eye appeal for a 1. And a lot of vintage card collectors, baseball card collectors, these are the types of cards that they look for. It's all about the eye appeal, and the lower the grade, of course, means that you get a break off of that price. And man, this is a real beauty in a 1. All right, we'll shift over. Justin Jefferson, our guy Justin Jefferson. Is he the best receiver in the entire NFL? He's certainly up there. He's top 3. His old teammate Jamar Chase, is up there with him. But this is a PSA 10 Silver Prism going back to 2020. What is the current pop on this? I'm always curious on these. There's only 136. Man, you would think that there would be a lot more. 482 9s. There's only 136 10s. And that's, 5 years old at this point, 4 years old from release. I just really like the look of the card. He's obviously just caught the ball over the middle or something, and he's taken off. A recent sale, actually, it wasn't a recent sale. It was going back, I think, April. Card Ladder says maybe April, May timeframe, going back a month or two at about $450. So this is priced kind of, I think it's just priced this way because, look, there's 130 of them, which I know that, I know it's not single digits or anything, but there's not a ton of them out there in a 10. We're entering into training camp here in a few weeks, and there's probably going to be some buzz around the Vikings, around Jefferson. I think that somebody's trying to maybe catch somebody that's looking for this card. There's not an or best offer here option. It's right at that $600 mark, and maybe kind of hoping that, hey, someone's going to want this card because there's not tons of these out there. You would think that there would be a lot more 10s, and there's really just not. Will the Vikings bounce back after they had an amazing regular season and then faltered? Is J.J. McCarthy that guy? We're going to find out here soon. Speaking of, is the guy going to be that guy? In New England, we've got Drake May. I'm actually going with my family to the New Orleans Superdome on October 12th weekend, I believe it is, for the Saints at the Patriots. We're going to go see Drake May live in person and see what he's all about. The Patriots are kind of in a similar spot as the Saints, still kind of rebuilding a little bit. They just basically shored up their offensive line. Probably not a bad idea. So Drake May is going to have some protection up front. And the Patriots, with good coaching, they've got a much better coach now. I think they're going to bounce back pretty nicely in the AFC East. This is a card. This is the variation, kind of that 2014 looking rookie variation card for Drake May. I like the other one better, but this one is about $175 to $200 card based on Card Ladder, eBay sales, recent sales for this card. So there's still 5 days left at time of recording. Tuesday night, this one ends, so it's at a pretty decent price here. But yeah, they sell for about $170, $200 is a pretty frequent sale for this card. There's 383 10s, so they're fairly available out there for collectors, for those guys that are looking, hey, is Drake May going to be the next Tom Brady in New England? There's big shoes to fill. We'll have to see. We'll find out here this season if Drake May takes a step forward. The other guy from last year's draft that's kind of been under the radar a little bit, I haven't heard him much in the news this season, this offseason, Caleb Williams. I think the Bears are going to be better. I think the Bears are actually going to be really good. But I think that the NFC North is the toughest division in football between Green Bay, the Vikings, the Bears, the Packers. I just think it's absolutely brutal. The Bears lost a bunch of games last year by a field goal, a touchdown. They lost to Jaden Daniels' Commanders on a Hail Mary. The Bears got absolutely unlucky last year. I just think that they're going to be improved. Very tough division. Some people like these Topps Chrome cards. They are unlicensed. Personally, I like the design of them. I don't like that they're unlicensed. I think it's one of those things where, this next season they will be licensed. And I just really like the design. It's got kind of a retro feel to it. This card, recent sales, this is the yellow geometric out of 75. I think there was a recent sale here at about $1,000. So this one ends on Sunday evening, currently at $810. Will it sell at the last comp? Will it sell a little bit more, a little bit less? This is one I think for Bears fans. It's out of 75. It's an autograph, nice autograph card, and it is a PSA 10. I think that Bears fans and people speculating on Caleb Williams maybe taking that next step with the Bears this season. Be interesting to see what happens for a card like this. All right, here's a card another one that I've been wanting for a while. This is 83-84 star, that base set Larry Bird. It is marked as a short print. It is believed to have been short printed. It's a great photo of him. And this is a popular card in the star community. Of course, it's going back to those early years, with obviously Michael Jordan, but all those stars from the 80s are just not a lot of basketball sets until Fleer, comes along in 86 and they make consistent sets, starts getting a little bit more popular basketball. But I mean, early to mid 80s, not a whole lot going on, not many sets. You had the star bags that came out. And this is a nice copy, BGS 85, a higher grade for this card. These are not easy cards to find. They're not mega scarce. Like, they will pop up for sure, but I don't think this price tag is too crazy. They're asking $800. There's no bids on it yet, but this is a card I'm sure it probably sells pretty regularly in that $650, $700 range. I'd have to go back to the Star group on Facebook. I'm a part of a Star group that's really great for all the information on this particular card. I just love this card. Want to own it at some point. I would like it in a higher grade like this. If this was a little bit less, I might consider making a bid. If this was $650, $700, I'd probably bid on it. But at $800, I think they're just trying to get maybe right above where that typical sale would be. I don't think it's a crazy ask, though. Great looking card here. All right, I just wanted to share this one. This one is a little bit overpriced here in the PSA eBay store. It's at $199. There have been some sales here at $50, $60, $75. But this is the type of card that I think that are going to be collected over time. I'm not making any sort of price predictions, moving forward, but this is 2018 Prism Silvers. And again, I have this notion. I think a lot of people do. I think it's why a lot of people are buying gold prisms and gold vinyl and black finites and nebulas and all this prism stuff, all the Panini products. I think there's a big focus on it because they are losing the licenses. I think that people are going to have nostalgia over the Prism cards. And I don't think that cards like this, for collectors, this one, again, at $199, like I said, there's been sales at $50, $75, $80 for this, so this one being overpriced. But in a PSA 10, people collect PSA 10s, and this is a beautiful design card. 2018, of course, that's Shea's rookie year. That's Luka's rookie year. It's a popular set, especially as we went into the pandemic. This was one of those sets that people were speculating all over. Tatum in 17, and you had, Luka in 18, Trae Young in 18. You have these, a lot of folks that have great memories of Prism. And for it to not be licensed anymore, kind of moving forward, I do wonder, for cards like this, I think that a lot of collectors are picking up, PSA 10s, even PSA 9s, for a lot of these types of cards. Silver Prism will always be remembered, I think, very fondly in our hobby. And so I wanted to bring this card to your attention, but this could be any card. If you're a Kevin Durant fan, I just bought a 2012, actually, I just bought a 2012 Prism Silver Drew Brees PSA 10. For the same sorts of reasons, because I'm going to miss these types of cards, these designs, the excitement around Prism. And so I wanted to just kind of pull this one up as an example, depending on whether you like LeBron or whichever player it is, just cool cards that I think are going to just age well for collectors. Collectors are going to want these cards, I believe. All right. In the world of Michael Jordan collecting, it can get pretty expensive. I was at Fanatics Fest and I saw, I believe it was Nat Turner's green PMG there. That was the authentic altered. And then there was basically a complete setup there of green PMGs. Just insane from basketball. It was an unbelievable sight there at the Museum of Greatness at Fanatics Fest. This is an example of what I believe to be a more affordable, really cool 90s insert card. The 90s inserts, it's all about essential credentials and PMGs and all that sort of thing. But this is a gold medallion from Fleer Ultra, and it's an all gold card. I don't think that this is a super easy grade either. This is a PSA 9. I saw a recent sale, and I believe it was Card Ladder said $480, $450, kind of in that range. So this one being at $500 OBO, it's priced to sell, really, if we're comparing it to kind of the last sale or a recent sale. And it's just a beautiful card. This is a type of Jordan card, kind of an insert card from the 90s that I would go after, because this is more in my wheelhouse. I was 14 when this set came out. Just love the look of the card. Beautiful gold design, and it's affordable, even in a 9. Now, some people might say, well, $500 is a lot of money. Well, look at the 7 or the 8. They're out there and they're quite a bit less, and you could get, an 8 near mint copy. I'm sure that is probably $100, $150, $200 maybe for an 8. But yeah, just a great looking card. I wanted to share, as not all the Michael Jordan cards are the ultra high end. We're actually going to look at another one that's not necessarily ultra high end, semi high end. I do own a copy of this card. This is not mine for sale, but I just wanted to share. We were looking at the star card for Larry Bird earlier, I wanted to show the Olympic card. This is, again, going back to Jordan's rookie season, going back to 84, 85. This is one of the 4 cards that are kind of the main cards. We got the 101, of course, but the Olympic card is a special card. I have this in a PSA 6, and this one at a 6.5 at $4,100. It's not vastly overpriced, maybe a little bit higher than recent comps, but again, it's just very much an in-demand card. This is a great looking copy, BGS 6.5. You've got nice looking edges. It looks like the centering, if we're looking at the BGS subgrades there, it's a centering like left to right, right to left, looks pretty tough. Otherwise, though, I mean, there's a little bit of white on the top right, but it's just one of those classic early Jordan cards. It's not to take away from all the 90s stuff that people love, but I really have a thing for the 80s Jordan stuff. You know, the stuff that goes back to his early career, you know, before he started to really win a lot of titles. I mean, his first 3, of course, the first one's in 91, but that second three-peat, you know, is where a lot of the really great cards came out, and a lot of collectors kind of live in that zone. But it was really fun to watch the struggle for Michael Jordan. I know that sounds kind of weird, but he came into the league as a phenom. He was carrying the team on his back, ran up against teams like the Detroit Pistons that beat him up, you know, and then finally got over the hump, got a second guy, got the Scottie Pippen, you know, to help him out, and some of the role players, and the rest is history. But again, I like seeing kind of the journey. This is a young Jordan playing in the Olympic Games before anyone knew that he was going to be what he was. He went to the Olympics, won gold. Just a very cool card, so I had to share it. All you 90s collectors out here, man, on the football side, Barry Sanders is he's got a hell of a collector base now. It's really grown over time. And of course, I'm an 89 score football guy, but so much love here for the 90s insert type cards. This is a perfect example of it. This is the Bowman's Best refractor out of 400. There are atomic refractors. There are, you know, with lower numbers. This one, I saw a raw copy on eBay that sold for $220 over the last month. And so when I saw this at 285 OBO, and this is not a raw copy, this is a mint 9, really nice looking card. I'm thinking like, wow, that's actually priced pretty close to what the raw copy was. And it's not, look, not easy to get a 10 on a card like this going back to 1999. Yeah, there's 13 9s. I might put a bid on this. Before I even post this video, I might buy this card. There's 13 in a 9 and there's 8 in a 10. And I don't know. I just look at it. This is exactly kind of the type of card. If you're looking to get into the 90s stuff, you're a football card collector. Maybe you're looking to get into Barry Sanders. This is just a rad card, man. This is a really cool card. I would love to actually add this to my collection. Maybe I shouldn't have brought this one up, and I should have just tried to buy it myself. But anyway, I digress. What an amazing card. All right, and we'll finish out with a newer card. Again, not playing days. It's 2024 Mosaic Carbon Copy. I had never seen this. This is some sort of insert out of Mosaic Football. Never heard of this card. I just thought it looked really awesome. It's numbered to 25, PSA 10. I don't know if this is a great price tag for it. It's $375 OBO. There's only 25, so maybe it's just, they don't sell very much, so you got a pretty big price tag, but they do take offers. I just thought it was cool having Barry, and then, of course, you got the rushing leader, Emmitt Smith, but carbon copy, not an insert that was on my radar for Mosaic, and just thought, man, this is just a really cool-looking card. Guys, thanks to everybody who uses my eBay link, my affiliate link. I put it down there in the video description and in the pinned comments. When you do buy through that link, I do get a small commission through eBay as an affiliate partner. I appreciate you guys watching this as we get to look at these cool cards. The PSA eBay store, because people are grading all the time and then just selling through eBay like I just did. I've got cards that I just graded. I've got 3 of them that are going to go onto eBay. The PSA eBay store is always flush with new cards and just a lot of cool stuff always on the site. So make sure to check it out. Friends, have an amazing day ahead. Stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.